Good morning, friends and folks. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling and saving you money, giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, to the weird noises, and to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, not if you're driving, join the crew, absolutely, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins. We're going to shift this thing right into drive right here on the Motormouth Morning Drive, 8 a.m. Here we are on Q&A. We've made it to the weekend. We are officially in the weekend. And for those who work weekends, just like me, for the last 32 years, we take a break wherever we can and come up for air, don't we? That's exactly what we do. So I'd like to say thank you to Crystal Ridge Dream Center, our faith-based nonprofit organization serving men and women and children meals, love, hope, and changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. In times when community support is crucial, Crystal Ridge Dream Center shines as a beacon of compassion and transformation. Located at 385 Derby Road. They don't get any government support whatsoever. They have to raise their own funds. So if there's something you could do to help them, send some gift cards, grocery cards, gas cards. They do all their own running around. And I'll tell you, every single program they have running for men, women, children, widows, orphans, single moms, and children of all ages, young adults. They have a plan and a program for every single walk of life. And there's no charge. They feed out the door between 260 folks per week, as high as 300 on Tuesdays and Fridays. See what you can do. Click on their logo on the homepage or website and check them out. And thank you in advance for searching your heart and discovering how maybe you could be a volunteer, a weekly donator, a monthly donator, or one-time donation. Let me tell you, I will tell you this. They can take a nickel and hammer it into $1. There is no waste there whatsoever. Every penny is spent on running the programs and helping those that I just spoke about. Car Connection brought to you by City Auto Sales and Leasing. Earl Louise Grant, over 25 years as the Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. Low mileage vehicles, quality vehicles, at fair prices. In-house financing and leasing available. You can buy with confidence, be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. Thank you to our certified financial planners, Tony Nelly and Larry Titro, 50 years experience as fiduciaries. They're with IG Wealth Management. They look after investment portfolios, whether you have a little or a lot, helping to put together a debt retirement plan, estate planning, powers of attorney, beneficiaries, health proxies, all of it, all in one package to make sure that everything is protected. Your estate is protected from the tax man. Mortgages. If you need a mortgage, fantastic rates. Great people to deal with in the mortgage department out in Winnipeg, Ontario, Canada. Haven't had a mortgage with a bank for 15 years, and I really, really appreciate IG Wealth Management. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, all available to you. You have questions, they have answers. Here's how it works. Tony and Larry do not need any more clients. They are busy fellas. In 2007, we started a segment on our program to help all of you who are struggling to not only purchase a vehicle, save for the next vehicle, and be able to afford to keep a vehicle. So the upkeep. So that's how we started a segment called The Planners, and Tony and Larry have been with us ever since, and they want to be a part of being able to meet you and answer your questions and get you on the right path. We call it the Discovery Meeting, an hour and a coffee. So you can get an hour with Tony or Larry, and they'll be happy to sit down with you, lay all the cards on the table, and believe me, you will not say or do anything that you'll be condemned for. We all make mistakes, but the most of it is if we learn from our mistakes, get answers from those who have the fruit on the tree, get yourself booked into an hour and a coffee, leave your wallet and your purse at home, sweetheart, because they're not there to sell you anything. They're there to listen and then devise a plan that will work just for you. Niagara Block at 5,000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. They have been building Canada since 1931. They have all the building supplies that you require to meet your project, whether it's hardscape, landscaping. They have all those materials as well. They can also connect you with contractors that Kathy Grimo, wife of Dave Grimo, has a list of contractors that she could refer you to get the job estimated, get it started, and get it finished. How cool is that? Total Freedom, Darien Center, New York, and Sydney, Manitoba. Those are addiction campuses where those who are suffering with addictions have made that decision that they'll do whatever it takes to get through it, over it, under it, and around it, and start a new life. That's what happens at Total Freedom Canada and USA. There's a new life waiting for them there. And on our website, on the homepage, we call that the biggest toolbox in our drawer. The drawer in our toolbox. The thingamy in the doohickey. Yeah, no, everything we talk about lives on our website. And I've done that on purpose for 32 years, is instead of giving you all kinds of choices, if you want to email me, our website. You want to connect with me, our website. You want to send me an email, our website. You want to like, share, subscribe, follow, put your comments down below on our videos and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville on the web. You'll find us under the businesses tab, and our Skippy, our videographer, has built that website, and they have over 7,000 visitors on that website to Stevensville, which has been designed to connect quality businesses, family-owned and operated businesses in Stevensville with the community. So it's turned into a communal website, and that is so cool. You can also click on our YouTube channel and our iHeartRadio platform for our podcast. We are on all the platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and the like. So wherever you're pulling your podcast from, type in Car Connection Workshop. You'll find us there. All our podcasts, we're in season number 2 right now, episode 123. The first 100, actually, we're right up to date as we podcast. Once they're scheduled and light up, they automatically populate over to our YouTube channel. So all that is available in the top right-hand corner at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's CCBUSNET.com. And I put all this information into the description boxes for our YouTube videos. We have almost 200 videos there, and now over 100 podcasts are available to you as well in our lineup there. And our program partners, who are very important to everything we've been doing as we switched over to new platforms, digital platforms. So Car Connection now with more ways to watch and listen and engage. So everything you need to know and everything you'd need to connect and follow us is available on our homepage of our website. Now I'm getting to our merchandise, which is available in our online store, top right-hand corner of the homepage of our website again. And proceeds from the purchases on our merchandise store go to fight addiction. So grab some Motormouth Car Connection merch and join the crew here with the battle against addiction to help those who are struggling with addiction, who have made the decision that today's the day Today's the day to deal with it. We want to be able to help them get to a total freedom addiction campus so that they can meet the crew that is going to help them to beat that addiction and find a brand new life. So come along with Skippy and I and grab some merch and know that you have joined us in the fight against addiction. Well, we have a ton of things to get through this morning. And I guess my first question to you, we have 3 questions that are absolutely outstanding. You guys and gals are really hammering it out, making my 2 little gray men in my head, my brain cells, work really, really hard to answer the question. So I don't want to meander around too much because this is a 1-hour question and answer program. And again, thank you to our program sponsors for making that possible. And thank you for giving them your business and for supporting Skippy and I in all that we do with all the platforms we're involved with. All those things like, share, subscribe, follow, join the community, all those little things that you can do to help us are huge, are absolutely huge. So we are truly thankful and grateful and love each and every one of you for taking the time to help us to grow, keep the ignition on and our engine running on all cylinders. So thank you so much for that. We are growing. We're not growing at the pace we'd always like to. However, we're growing, and that's what really matters. And it's you folks that make that happen. So thank you for listening and watching, subscribing, and all those little things that I include to remind you in the description boxes of our YouTube videos and also for our podcasts. And I remind you that I put a lot of information into those description boxes that will help you better understand your automobile as well. So not only are you getting something out of the videos, but you're also getting a lot out of the podcasts as well. And each one, the YouTube channel is its own entity. We don't double up. So whatever you watch on YouTube, you're not going to hear on our podcast, our Car Connection Workshop podcast. It's all different, totally different. So we've created that way so that we can entertain you and teach you and connect with you and stay connected so that we can teach you the basics and the basic fundamentals of vehicle ownership and the fact that, yes, you can keep a 10 to 15-year-old car running and reliable and in tip-top working order and stay out of the car game because there's a lot of people losing in the car game right now. Engines blowing up with less than 1,000 miles on them. Come on. We didn't even see that back in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, and here we are. Where was the better technology? I ask that to myself all the time. When I look at Mr. Green Jeans, he's 1967, and I go, was that better technology and better value for your money then or now? And my answer is the stuff I'm seeing in the mechanical failures for the price they're asking for this stuff, it's insane. The price of the goods doesn't reflect the quality that you're getting. The return is not there. Every single day I'm hearing of more and more engines and transmissions dropping out of these things, and it's the domestics. They have slid so far backwards, folks. I can't tell you how many mechanics I watch on YouTube that I know these are great guys giving away great golden nuggets, quality cars versus affordable. Older is better and reliable. I can't tell you how many guys agree with what I've been saying for the last 15 years, that the 10 to 15-year-old vehicles are far superior than the crap they're putting out today. And I'm picking on the domestics. They need to pull up their socks and put down the pricing, for Pete's sake. Put something on the lot that I'd be interested in buying, and I'll buy it. But as far as it goes, I don't want to work on your junk every day. The worst vehicle I ever had was a Cadillac. And then I turned it into an Oldsmobile. I'll tell you that story sometime and I turned it into a real freaking car. I totally gutted it and swapped it over to Oldsmobile, and I'll tell you, that was the best Cadillac on the face of the planet. 350 Olds rocket engine and a 4 1/4 Oldsmobile transmission. You hit that gas pedal and the rear bumper would scrape the road. With the Cadillac stuff in there, I'll tell you a story sometime about almost getting carjacked in Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland! Freezing Cleveland. And it was winter. Yeah, so let's jump into it. Some great questions. And yeah, I'm picking on the domestics. Come on, you guys. Stop putting out your garbage, all made of plastic, and the sheet metal's so thin we might as well run Reynolds aluminum. It'd be thicker by at least a millimeter. At least. Yeah, price does not reflect the quality of the goods sold. I saw that in a hardware store many years ago, and it was a hardware store from like the 1920s. And it was an old wooden sign that had been hanging in that store. I talked to the next generation who owned it. It was a general store, and it was here in Fort Erie. It's not there anymore. It's a shame. It was a real good old-fashioned general store that sold everything, from soup to nuts, from dog food to horse food, everything, farming supplies, hardware, you name it. They had it. And the sign read, price of goods sold reflects the quality of the product. And today I'm looking at this stuff and listening to what's going on. I was watching another program this morning I've never seen before. Channel was excellent. I can't even tell you what the channel was, but I did earmark it. The number of GM engines failing right now, with hardly any mileage on, to 30,000 miles. The engine's junk. The vehicle's already had two engines. Third one on the way. And here's what's going on. I'll give you a short story on it. We'll jump right into the questions. They're making the tolerances way too tight on the bearing surfaces, the crankshaft bearings and connecting rod bearings and camshaft bearings. That's why we're having to run this crappy oil, 0W20, 5W20, 5W30. It's thinned right out. What happened to 10W30 across the board, or 2050, 1540? Well, the tolerances were bigger, which meant a lot of oil could get into those bearings and from the oil pump and keep everything well lubricated. Well, on today's engines, yeah, they're high revving, and you guys are driving the bags off them, and you know it. So they've had to tighten the tolerances on the bearing journals, and that's why they've gone to this lousy motor oil that's so thin it only has one side to get the oil onto the bearings. But it's still not good enough. It's not good enough. The tolerances are too tight, and we can't get enough lubrication. Bearings are spinning, bearings are coming out, the engines are tearing themselves apart inside, one after the other. That's an engineering problem, folks. Yeah, the pattern failure, I'll tell you right now, I would not touch a GM vehicle right now with what's going on. There's no way I would want to be on a hook for a second or third engine and I'm out of warranty. That would not impress me. I'm telling you right now, I don't know about you, but that would not impress me. Anything failing less than 60,000 miles, not kilometers, I'm talking miles. 60,000 miles, come on. You can't build something that's better than that? Well, you did in the past. You did in the past, GM. You did it before, but you're skimping and charging a lot of money for your crap. Lots of plastic. Plastic's cheap. Lots of plastic on the engines. Plastic's cheap, and it lets go. It fails. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And the bearings, the engines are just not holding together. It's a bad design. Again, I look at Mr. Green Jeans, 1967 C10 fleet side 327 V8 original motor. Yeah, we bored it 30 over. It's got some juice. But that's the original motor. It's not a second or a third or a fourth. You read this stuff online and watch it on YouTube's. My goodness, how could I throw that much money down and wonder? Cadillac Escalades. The Escalade. I don't care what badge it has on it. It's still a Suburban to me. You can put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. It's still the same driveline. You can put all that badgery on there. It's still a Suburban. Yeah, you can't hide it. And they're all blowing up. People are they're dealing with the lowest one was 700 miles and the motor let go on a Denali. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. You think I'd be going and looking for something used? 700 miles. It was on its second motor already. At 700 miles. Anyhow, I better stop before I have to go for therapy. There's no way we should be seeing this quality of engineering. Come on. This is 2026. You built stuff that I was willing to buy back in 1967, 1978. And I'm not letting Ford or Chrysler off the hook. You know, the 3.6 Pentastar is a bucket of hammers. It's got all kinds of problems. And when you go out of warranty, heaven forbid, the bolts don't fall out of the camshaft sensors. Yeah, the variable valve timing, the VVTs, they know the bolts rattle loose, and then they drop down into the engine while you're driving. Kablooey. Oh, sorry, you're out of warranty. There is a huge class action suit on that in the U.S. You might want to check on some of this stuff before you bring it home to the driveway. And the Hemi tick, for Pete's sake. Yeah, let me tell you, if you got a Hemi, don't think you got a bulletproof engine, boy. You do not. You got a sucker under the hood strapped to the cross member. That the worst design for valve lifters I've ever seen in my life. Stupid and beyond dumb. And that's what starts ticking. And you can take it in and they'll sing a dance and tap a tune and tell you all kinds of crap. But the engine's going. That's what's happening. The roller lifters are coming apart. And then the rollers themselves lock up and now they start grinding the lobes off the camshaft. If you hear that Hemi tick, you send me an email and I'll tell you what you can do if it's not too late. It may or may not help. Yeah, I don't want to say it on the air because the armchair warriors that have way too much time on their hands and not enough knowledge, I don't need to see those emails. I got 44 years of experience, and I will eat your lunch and take your milk money in a very nice way. Yeah, it's a stupid design. And I got a widowed lady lives down the street here, and you can see some videos on her truck, 2010 Dodge Ram 2500. It's on its second engine. The first engine let go at 45,000 kilometers. And the truck sat for 6 months while they found a used one out in BC and had it shipped to Ontario and replaced it. Now that engine has got the Hemi tick. And she knew what it was. She goes, yeah, it's got the Hemi tick. She goes, you know what? I'm not putting any money into that motor. I don't know if I'll keep it beyond having to put another motor in it or not. But we'll just see how far it goes. And it's the lifters. They're letting go. So if you got a Hemi, you had better pay attention to oil changes and stay with it. Change the oil sooner than later. And if you want a little tip or a trick on your Hemi, send me an email and I will tell you privately what to do. And it will stave off. If it hasn't been ticking already for a while, it'll stave it off. It'll buy you time. I just did that for. I heard a fellow at the supermarket. I heard his truck start up. I pulled him aside it, and I got out and I went and talked to him, and I said, how long's it been doing that? And he said, I just started like a couple of months ago. So I wrote him down the recipe, and I did meet up with him again, and he just goes, thank you so much. He said, I would never have believed that if I didn't do exactly what you said. The tick is gone. I said, well, let's hope the wear and tear isn't too bad, and that it can rise to the cause, and last for quite a while. Okay, today, it's Saturday. Yes, it is. We made it. And today's low will be 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I always speak in the English language. I'm not a lover of the metric system whatsoever. Cost me about $100,000 in retooling when I was still an apprentice, paying for tools again out of my own pocket, and you can't write it off because if you don't own the shop you're working for, or you're working on contract, you still can't write it off. Anyways, Saturday's low will be 20 degrees between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., and we're there. And the high will be 33 degrees between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. today. The temperature range will feel like 12 degrees to 9 degrees. Wind will make it feel a little colder than the actual temperature. And on the precipitation scale today, we have and hold a 0. Nothing happening. So we got any sunshine in there? Did you hear any sunshine in there? Let me see. Oh, we're going to see the sun. Sunny conditions will continue for the rest of the day. Wind gust up to 22 kilometers an hour are making the temperature feel more like 25. We'll take the sun, right? Absolutely. So that's today's forecast. Enjoy your weekend. Let's jump into the questions. My question to you is, how long would your car last if you actually followed a proper maintenance plan? Grab hold of my coattails. I am not in the corner of the manufacturer or the selling dealers or parts stores or parts manufacturers. I'm in your corner to help you and educate you on how not to get trapped into playing the car game. Because the talking heads, they're good word salad makers. And they study the buzzwords that your ears want to hear when you're looking to buy a vehicle. Maintenance free. Oh, you don't have to change the spark plugs for 225,000 kilometers. This, that, and the other thing. You don't have to service that. It's a load of bologna. Vehicles are a piece of equipment. They're built by mankind. Mankind is not perfect. So guess what? Neither is that year, make, or model of vehicle you're looking at. Sorry to tell you, and bring on the bad news like a bad donkey, but them's the facts. The sales guy, no disrespect, but they're lying when their lips are moving. You have to be a prosumer, not a consumer. So let's jump right into it. Thanks to Jim and Elisha and Steve. Great questions. All three are going to take some time to cover, so we better jump into that right now. Jim asks, looking at replacing my old ride, I hear a lot of bad things about the domestics and reliability. Any suggestions on what I should be looking at vehicle-wise? Man, that's a deep one. That is a deep hole. I think I just came out of that a little bit. Oh, my. Well, many years ago, that would be the number one question I would always be asked. Hey, Motormouth, I'm looking to buy a vehicle. What vehicles should I stay away from? What would you pick? What should I select? And for many years, I do all kinds of research. I'd be on top of consumers reports, reading blogs. And you got to spin a filter on when you read blogs because, man, I'm glad cows don't fly. Jeepers. The things people put down, they really, it's like those who go to the big W store really should check their outfit before they get there. Okay, I'm just saying. No disrespect, but, some of those outfits, you just can't get them out of your head. They're like stuck there for their lifers. my answer would be like a top 10. And then I'd meet up with them, and guess what they bought? Nothing on my top 10 list. I would go through all that work, effort, and time and energy to put together a top 10 list of vehicles that you could count on for reliability. The money spent to buy it would be well worth it in return on investment, and they go and buy something not even on the list. So I got smart. So when I get asked that question, I have a long answer and I have a short answer. But I will definitely not steer you to any year, make, or model whatsoever. I'm going to make you do your homework. And I'm going to help you get there. But I'm going to put it on your plate. Your plate. Because no matter what I mention, you're not going to buy it. For whatever reason. Because you already have your mind set on something. So I'm going to help you to decide whether that is a viable prospect or a suspect. Okay? That's my short answer. No, that is actually part of my long answer. My short answer is buy what you like. But, here it comes, B-U-T-T, but do your own homework. I have gone as far as seeing someone in a particular vehicle I was interested in, flagging them down before they leave the parking lot and just asking them one question. How do you like this vehicle? And would you buy another one? Same. And if they look at you and within 15 seconds go, no, there's a good answer right there from someone who knows something about that particular vehicle. Then I'll usually say, what happened that has really changed your mind against buying this vehicle a second time? And they'll tell you. You can't put a price tag on that information. If you're bold enough to ask someone those 3 questions, I'll tell you what, you'll get the answer. You'll get an answer. It might not be the one you're looking for. They're not agreeing with you, but they're being honest and telling you, you know what? No, I wouldn't buy this again. For this, and this. They can generally rattle off 3 to 5 things that are deal breakers for them. So, how am I going to answer this question? If any one of you out there asks me this question, please don't be afraid. Ask. But I am going to tell you, first thing you need, trip to the dollar store. Yep, I'm not joking. Trip to the dollar store. You want to get a little spiral bound notebook that you can take notes on. Then you're going to sit down with a cup of joe or your favorite beverage or cold snack, and you're going to write out on each page the vehicle that you're interested in. Not all listed on one page. Each page will have the year, make, and model of vehicle you're interested in. Okay, so if it's 8, 9, or 10, you got 10 vehicles, that's 10 pages. On each one of those pages, you're going to split that page in half. So put a line across the middle. Top half, things I like. Bottom half, deal breakers. That's the things that, you know what, I cannot accept the stuff that's on the deal breaker section. So that vehicle, gone. You're going to do that for every single one of those vehicles as you road test them. You take that little notebook, you can slip it in your back pocket, in your purse, in your jacket. That's why I said get it. It's about the size of your hand, and you can take notes on it. If you wish to be extra techie, you could do that and set that up in your phone and do a spreadsheet and, put colored dots beside them representing, whatever. You can split an atom all day long, but whatever way works for you. I just find the little notebook where you can quickly write it down and then get to the next place where you can road test the next vehicle on the next page in your little booklet. And you do that for all of them. You do not sit down and discuss price. You're there and you tell the salesman, no, No. You don't need to go talk to the manager. I'm here to road test this vehicle to see if I like it. That's all I'm here for. If I like it, I will put it on my list. If I don't like it, you won't see my face again. I'm not here to talk numbers. Be square with them. I'm here to look at it and a little road test around the block and see how it feels, see if it relates to me or not. And even show them your booklet. I've got vehicles written down in here I'm interested in, and I'm not making a decision till I've road tested every single one. And if yours is the selection, you'll see me again. And if not, please don't be discouraged. Just means that vehicle did not suit me. That's all. Be honest with them. Tell them up front, I'm here to road test this. I'm not here to make a deal. I'm not here to trade anything in. I'm not here to sit down and talk numbers. I'm just here to get this vehicle on my list or off my list. That's it. They're all suspects until you can move them to prospects. That's what I say. That's how you do it. It's the second largest purchase you're ever going to make. You're not ordering a Timmy's. You're not going through McRanchi's. You're not getting a Wendy's double bacon cheeseburger or a dish of their awesome chili, I might add. I'm hungry. So, no is the answer. You're not doing that. This is a lot of money, and you need to spend as less as possible. That's why I am a huge advocate of pre-owned. The best pre-owned are rental vehicles. Did you know that? I'll talk more about that in a minute. Let me finish you off here. So write down your choices. Go and road test. What you like, what you don't like. The deal breaker list. That's what I call it. Top list is the things you like. Bottom side of the paper is the deal breaker list. Go to the next vehicle. Same thing. Go to the next one. Same thing. Repeat the process. Rotate the pattern. Things I like, things that are deal breakers. Take a look at the consumers reports. When you get down, here's what I tell you. When you get down to 3, you know what you do next? Road test. A second time. Why? Because the first one is only the honeymoon. The second one could potentially be you're engaged to it. You're engaging it. You're engaged to it. You'll find things on the second road test. Let me tell you this. You will find things on the second road test that you missed the first time. You will. And it'll generally be something added to the deal breaker section on the page. So you're down to 3. That means 3 more road tests. And then from that, you can review your lists and then see, and it may end up, you know what? Even those 3, you found more deal breaker things, and you're looking for something. You're looking in a different direction now. That's how it works with homes. You go out there, you think you know what you want, and when you start looking at what you want versus what you can afford, you've then got to make some changes, right? You got to make some sacrifices in order to pull it off. In order to find something, hey, could we live with this? Could we live with this problem? Is it that big a deal? Can we overcome it? Can we compromise or not? It goes exactly the same way when you're looking for an automobile. Number one, you need to also know that you're dealing with people that aren't trying to sell you something. They're trying to help you find that vehicle that works for your family's needs. To get the things done that you need to get done with the kids, with yourself, on the road every day, all the chores you've got, all the things you like to do, does that vehicle suit all those things? And it happens all the time. You get down to the last 3 and you go, I think they all suck, really. I can't see myself living with that for 5 or 7 years and paying that kind of money for it. Be honest with yourself. It's not, here's what my good friend Mike Basil would say. Motormouth, it's not the last car on the face of the planet that you're going to see. If you don't like it, you don't like it. We move on. And that was when I think it was like the fifth or sixth car. And then he phones me and he says, Motormouth, yes? Get your butt over here. I've got a vehicle for you, and pay close attention to this one. Okay, Mike, I will. And I bought it. And you know what? It fit exactly. It really did. It wasn't anything I would have gone out there to look at, but it came in on a trade, one owner, lady driven, truly, and I drove that thing for 229,000 miles. It had 60,000 on when I got it. I bought it out of Basil Toyota, Lockport, New York. Mike Basil, a really good friend, right from day one with Car Connection. And I drove that thing for 229,000 miles. Well, I'd less 60,000 miles. And I think it was 66,000 miles when I got it. 1998 Honda CRV. I sold that thing, and it's still going. It's like, I don't know how many owners it's on now. It's still going. It worked. As I mentioned, I never would have looked at something like that. I never owned anything like that, and it was super. In fact, I almost cried getting rid of it because I was attached to it, and I would, if I didn't have to sell it to get a down payment on what I was really looking for, that's how I ended up with the 07 FJ Cruiser, and that has proven too. Has suited everything I need to do. That FJ Cruiser has been able to do it. And even the cleanup. The cleanup is a snap. And that's what I needed. Has rubber mats inside, no carpeting. Beautiful. Perfect for this fella. Okay. That's one side of the decision point. Reliability. You gotta look at whatever you can find online and sift through the blogs, consumers reports, and try and find some information on reliability. What is the market out there saying? Not the sales dude. What is the market saying? Like even last week when I went to get some automatic transmission oil for the CVT transmission that's in the 2008 Nissan Rogue, the fellow said to me in parts, he goes, you know what you're doing. I go, yeah. I said, these CVTs, you got to be good with them. You got to be gentle on them. You got to give to them. But I think they can go the distance if you're changing the fluid with the factory fluid every 50K. And he goes, be nice if everybody else thought like that. That was his answer. He goes, you're doing the right thing. I said, well, it was gifted, and you know what? I'm the next caregiver, and I want to do my very best, knowing that CVT transmission is not the Rock of Gibraltar of transmissions, but again, BUTT, get your butt out of the way and take care of it the way it needs to be taken care of. So again, do your own homework. Buy what you like, but do your homework. Older is more reliable. I will say that, and I will agree with a lot of the technicians out there that are seeing it. The new stuff ain't making it on the domestic side. On the other side of things, they pretty much got it together. Not to say they're all perfect. They're not. Each vehicle has its own. But you got to pick the one that, you know what, I much rather just be doing regular maintenance, staying on top of it, than stupid things that always break and have always broken for decades on end, and the car manufacturers don't give a crap to actually fix it and take care of it and get out of that rut, for Pete's sake. Come on. You cry. You know what? I heard a guy say, vote with your wallet. What a statement that is. Oh, yeah, I have had people say, well, you're not supporting the domestics. I go, you know what? No, I'm not paying to put their kids through university and the ginormous benefit package and everything else that goes along with it and gets all added into the sticker price. No thanks. And then I got a piece of junk that's always got the same pattern failures on it. No, it's my money and I'm spending it wisely. I have no domestics in the driveway. None. I got the Nissan Rogue. I've never owned a Nissan. I'm kind of really liking it so far. It really is good on fuel. Incredible on fuel. But then I don't drive it like an animal either. You play hard, you pay hard. So again, I'm an advocate on something 10, 15 years old. Low mileage, in great shape. Buy it, care for it, clean it, wax it, take care of the body, take care of the interior, take care of the mechanicals. Rust proof. Number one. Guess what? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Period. So I hope that answered that question. Yeah. If your older vehicle, Jim, is in great shape, man, I'd be looking at that with both eyes at the same time. Being able to look through a keyhole with both eyes at the same time and see your car in that keyhole, that's how I'd be looking at it. It ain't looking so bad. Because the sticker price does not reflect the quality of the vehicles, and I'm particularly pointing my compass needle at the domestics. Not impressed. I am not impressed with the stuff. Nope. Even if I wanted on a roll up the rim to win, it would be in the paper for sale. If it isn't one of the brands I like, that have proven themselves over and over and over again to be true blue to me and reliable, why would I want to look for something else? That's why I was a little nervous about taking on the Nissan Rogue. Never had a Nissan before, period. Ever, ever, ever. And I'm kind of liking it. I see there are things that you've got to be a lot more gentle with and on top of and with the maintenance, and you got to do it. Honda's the same way. There's certain things those cars like. Volkswagen, there's certain things those vehicles like, and one of them is Volkswagens like Volkswagen parts, period. Volkswagens like Volkswagen techs, not domestic techs. You cannot service any European car like it's a domestic. It is a different animal. I have a 2000 Millennium Silver Saab 9.3. I've learned a lot about that car. I used to work on Saabs, and, I found them to be a very interesting, different animal. And I have a mindset of as a European tech would. They're not domestic cars, and if you buy one, you buy a Beamer or Mercedes or a Volvo or an Audi or a Volkswagen, anything like that. Don't expect your domestic automotive service tech to be able to work on that like it's a GM, Chrysler, or Ford. Not going to happen. You got to be prepared for that difference. It will not work right. They are a totally different breed of automobile, the European stuff, not a domestic vehicle. So you're not going to own a high-end, quality-built European car and treat it like a domestic. Get that out of your head, period. You need to have deep pockets. Stuff's expensive. It just is. It's the quality that you're paying for. You cannot expect to buy aftermarket parts to throw on that European car. Isn't going to happen. So get out of that pipe dream that you're going to buy an Audi and treat it like a Chevy Trax. It's not going to happen. It's totally 110% unrealistic. You got to be ready if you're going to go that route. For Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Saab, any of that group, European car group, you got to be ready because there's no deals. on parts, and there's no domestic techs going to be able to work on it. It's going to have to go to a shop that specializes in European vehicles, period. Okay, enough said on that. Hallelujah. And it's the same with, the Nissans, the Mazdas. I mean, Mazda is a Ford Mazda. We called it a foreign domestic. It is. Mazda's always been in bed with Ford. It's a foreign domestic conglomeration. The Mazdas have a Ford engine in there, has a Ford powertrain, has for years. Started way back in the early 90s. We started calling them foreign domestics. You'd be working on it and going, this is a Ford in here, the powertrain and the electronics. So it's a conglomerate. So we put that in a different category. It is a foreign domestic. Honda, Nissan, Toyota, Lexus, Acura, all that stuff. Again, it's a niche. Don't expect to buy those things, those vehicles, and have a domestic tech work on it. Again, it's apples to oranges. And those vehicles, they really like the same name brand parts. Toyota on Toyota, Honda on Honda, Nissan on Nissan, etc. That's the way they run the best. Absolutely. There are some things you can certainly put on aftermarket that will be just fine, like brakes, tires, etc., suspension and steering wheel when you get into the electronics. But you know what? I got a Toyota FJ Cruiser gonna be hitting 300,000 K, heading for 400, and all the electronics have been top drawer. Why? Because they put top drawer electronics on them. The domestics, they buy the cheap and nasty electronics. That's why all the stuff fails. Cheap and nasty. Why don't we have things like wiper motors, power window switches, door locks, all that stuff going south on the Hondas and Toyotas? You just don't, because the electronics are good. I can't think of one Toyota I've owned, and I've had lots, where I had to replace that stuff that I was replacing on my Chevy stuff, especially that Cadillac. That was a car from hell, let me tell you. It sure was, till I turned it into an Oldsmobile. And then I sold it at the Stratford Auto Auction. Yeah. Anyhow, next question. Elisha, another great question. So, Jim, I know that's probably not the answer you really were looking for, but that is the total answer I gave you for all those who are thinking about buying another vehicle right now. You really you better do your homework, or you're going to get stuck with a skunk in a mink coat, and you're not going to be happy. It's going to eat your bank account alive. And again, don't go out there buying a diesel thinking that's going to be your trip down the rose garden for fuel economy, because now you're talking a whole new breed of animal. If you didn't like doing maintenance on a gas jobby, you are certainly not going to like a diesel, because you treat a diesel like a bad donkey. Kiss your bank account goodbye. They have to be maintained to the nines. They are not maintenance free by any means whatsoever. Fluids, filters, lubrication in the diesel, and that blue def crap that the environmentalists are all big about. It's absolute stupid, and it's junk and garbage and the like. Yeah, so we'll talk about diesels another time. But don't think you're going to go out and buy a diesel truck, a diesel-powered anything, and that's your answer to fuel economy, and it's maintenance-free. Forget it. Don't even put it on your list. You are going to lose your savings in a hurry. Elisha asks, how often should I check and change my car's engine oil? I'm using synthetic. Well, I'm going to tell you what I do. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do, but I'll tell you what I've done I've been driving since was 16, and I'm now 63. So there you go. Cat's out of the bag. I don't look or feel like 63, but it doesn't matter. I changed my oil. I'm going to say I do put out better oil than what most have in their automobile. In fact, the oil change I did this week, I know the FJ is ready for an oil change, and I change it out at 3,500 kilometers. You know why? Oil is cheaper, filters are cheaper than that engine. I want that engine to go 500,000 miles, not kilometers. How am I going to get there? Clean motor oil. I don't want it carboned up. I don't want it gassed up and it's acidic. It's cheap compared to that engine block in there any day of the week. Extending oil change services, I don't care if it's synthetic, semi-synthetic, or double decaf with a half calf in there. I don't care what it is. That's your cheapest form of insurance for your engine. It doesn't give you a warning lamp that it's contaminated. It doesn't give you a warning lamp that it's overcarbonated. It's the cheapest, listen to me, it is the cheapest form of insurance that you can get to not kill your engine. To not kill them, wear that motor out prematurely. I just talked about not that many minutes ago in this podcast with the tight tolerances on these engines because you guys are running the bags off them out there. And the trade-up is they got to go to the zero oil to try and get more oil into the tight nooks and crannies on the bearing surfaces, and the engines are going kablooey. And I'll share with you, everyone, Elisha, great question. Thank you for this one. Don't listen to what is put down on paper by the manufacturers. Don't. Create your own pattern. At the very least, use this pattern. Change your oil. I don't care if it's the best purple oil or whatever it is, flavor of the month on the planet. It gets dirty. It gets hot and cooled and heated and cooled and heated and cooled, and it does suffer thermal breakdown. I don't care whose oil it is. It's a fact. And that's when the lubricity disappears, and that's when the protection factor starts to drop off. Change your oil at 5,000 kilometers, no more. Don't push it. If you're going to go over, change it a little early, but don't go over. That's what I do. I change my oil. My decision is to go early, 3,500, because I don't do as many long trips anymore. I do more shorties than long ones. So I've selected 3,500 is probably a very good number for me for my vehicles. When I was running up and down the highway from 6 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. every evening, 5 days a week, I changed my oil and filter every 5,000 K. Synthetic, semi-synthetic, like I said, double decaf with a half calf, flavor of the month, whatever brand it is. Change the oil early, don't go over. And use a top quality oil filter. I just saw on YouTube somewhere, how to save $5 on an oil filter. Are you out of your freaking mind? No. Guess what you're getting? Exactly what you're looking for. A Bargooni oil filter. It probably doesn't even have a pressure release valve. If for some reason the oil filter got plugged, that's the kaplooey is what happens to the motor. I don't want a $6 filter. I don't want a $3 filter. I buy Wix filters. Gold brand, period. .com, .org, .net, .ca, period. That's what I use. Not a penny less. Every filter I buy is a Wix filter. I've done that since the early 70s. They haven't let me down yet. They put out a damn good product. Whether it's a cabin filter, engine filter, oil filter, transmission filter kit, bam, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I don't care if that filter costs me $20. I cannot buy an engine for $20. Would I be safe in saying that? I cannot buy a long block engine for my vehicle for $20. You don't cheap out on filters and fluids ever. That is a no-no, and that will not get you to the high mileage. It will not. It will not get you there. Won't. So, Elisha, don't listen to what the manufacturer says. Stick with 5,000 K or 4 months. Whatever happens first. So, if it's 4 months and you've only put 1,500 kilometers on it, your vehicle falls in the severe service category. You need to change the oil and filter more often because your oil is getting contaminated with carbon, unburnt fuel, and acids that destroy your engine from the inside out. So that's what I highly recommend. Change it early. If you know you're going to be over, change it a little early. You won't get busted by the oil change cops. Month or mileage. Time or mileage. Whatever happens first. Okay? And it doesn't matter whether it's synthetic, semi-synthetic, conventional oil. Here's what a couple of oil engineers I had a chance to have lunch with many years ago, back in the late 90s, from a company that if I mentioned their name, you would definitely know who I was sitting with. And the gentleman was an oil engineer and a scientist. And I asked him, I said, is there really a whole lot of benefits to me switching over and running to full synthetic for my customers? And here's what he said. The average everyday Joe will never get all the feature benefits out of running synthetic oils in their everyday car. That's what he said. And I go, wow. How about semi-synthetic? He goes, yeah, you could run it. It's not that expensive. But again, synthetic oils are for those people who are really pushing it hard. He says, especially in the racing industries, you know, that's what they got to run. They got to run synthetics everywhere. They dissipate a lot of heat. But for the average Joe, they're not going to see the feature benefits out of running a full synthetic. I'm not the message. I'm the messenger. And again, if I mentioned the engineers of the company they were working for, you would definitely know the product line. You would definitely know. Last but not least, we're pretty much over time again, so let's see if we can blow this one out quick. Steve, yes, he brings up the ultimate question. My vehicle's AC system quit late last summer. What will it cost to fix it? What could I be looking at price-wise? Well, first of all, I do not have a magic wand or a crystal ball. We've been putting the order in, myself and some of my cronies, for a number of years, back-ordered. All the time, always back-ordered. Here's what you got to know. Many of you would say, well, you know, my air conditioning system pooped out late, just like Steve, late last summer. When should I fix it? Well, I'm not going to bother fixing it. You know, I don't need it till next summer. Oh, did you want your air conditioning to be working next summer? Well, yeah. I'm not driving in a hot, steamy car in the middle of July, 93 degrees with high humidity. No. I'll look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards by the time I get to work. And that's the ladies. And she ain't going to be happy with her fella. That should have been fixed before Steve drove through the winter. Because if the system's not working, that means there's no refrigerant in there. Where did it go? The neighbor stole it while you were sleeping last night? No. It fell out. Well, possibly. There's a leak. Well, if there's a leak, that means the refrigerant leaked out. That means that all the slushy, salty water and air, salted air, is being sucked in by the decusant bag that attracts moisture out of the refrigerant, but now it's pulling moisture out of the air from where the refrigerant leaked out, and it's contaminating the whole AC system all winter. All winter. Being an AC tech, my first question to Steve would be, how long have you been driving the system dead? Well, he's already told me. He said late last summer. So that could be September, end of September, beginning of October. So, and now let's see, we're in spring now. So how many months would that be? Let's go October. October, November, December, January, February, March, heading into April. 7 months. That system's been open, sucking moisture, salt air laden moisture over the winter months into the air conditioning system via the decusant bag, which that's what its job is to pull moisture and hold the moisture in the ceramic-like material. So now what I know already is that decusant bag is the ceramic pellets in there are totally absorbed with moisture. They're pregnant with moisture. If I go to try and charge that system to even test it for leaks, there's a good chance those ceramic pellets will explode. The bag will split open in the accumulator. That's where it hides. And now it's going to put all that product throughout the entire air conditioning system, every tube, every pipe, every orifice tube, evaporator core, condenser, the whole package, the whole schmeal is going to get contaminated. Why? Because that decusant bag is full of moisture. So how do we fix that? Well, we got to change the accumulator. Period. It's got to go. The system's been open for 7 months, sucking moist air. We can't charge it. If we do, we risk that bag splitting open, as I just said, and all those ceramic pellets exploding, kind of looking like really swollen Rice Krispies that you left in the milk way too long and now it's soggy and they're puffy. Another great idea to share with you is a bowl of bran buds. Pour milk all over it and then just walk away for a half an hour and come back and take a look at what you got. That's what happens to the ceramic pellets. They're puffy and they'll explode. And the bag will rip open and completely cause a living nightmare. How do we fix it now? We not only need an accumulator, but we have to open the whole system, all the lines, and flush everything out completely, then change the accumulator, then suck the system down into a vacuum, then put some air conditioning, enough refrigerant in. That's what we're allowed to do to determine where the leaking point is, so we can determine a course of action as to where the refrigerant leaked out and what we need to do to fix it. And then we can't let the car go down the road with that refrigerant we pumped in. We have to suck it back out. That's the fix, to get started to fix it. Now, there are some secrets that I do know, but I am not sharing those on the microphone. I've been in the air conditioning side of things for many years, decades, and there's some tricks that I can do to at least get the system tested and reduce the cost to the consumer and get it fixed and fixed right. Anytime your vehicle's air conditioning system goes down, if you love that AC, you need to get it back up and running quickly. It's not a system you can say, well, I'll leave it for a couple of years. Oh, or get to it, it's the end of the season, we'll get to it next year. No. That's not how that works. A cheap air conditioning fix is going to run you about $1,000 today. Used to be about $500. If we can get the system back up and running, top drawer, for $500 10 years ago, you'd be swinging to the bank. But today, prices of parts, and especially with air conditioning, if the summer's hot, then parts start to become rare and scarcer to find and can take 10 days to 2 weeks to get the parts because everybody else's AC system is dying. And especially if it's a domestic. They puke constantly. You can't keep air conditioning on them. I've never had one domestic vehicle that the air conditioning system didn't puke on me. Not one. The 07 FJ, that's original AC. I make a point of every 2 years, evac and recharge the system. If there's a filter in there, pull it out, put a new one in. Bam. Same with the 99 Honda Civic DX. I tell you, when the air conditioning's on, you can hang beef in there. Again, change evac and recharge the AC system every 2 years. Out goes the bad blood, in goes the new. We suck the system clean, and we're putting brand new AC refrigerant back in, checking the pressures and the temperature in the dash. That's how you keep it going. And then there's a number of nuggets on things you need to know about how to use your vehicle's air conditioning system so that it lasts for years to come. And I will share that in another podcast where we'll cover off. In fact, we'll shoot some videos to show you what I do and how I do it so that you can duplicate that and treat your vehicle's air conditioning system thumbs up and have it working for years to come. So, Steve, that's probably not what you want to hear, but that is the fact. The system went down late summer. It should have been fixed then and there, not now. So now it's up in the air. What is it going to cost? I hope not too much. But like I said, I've learned some tips and tricks over the years with AC systems on automobiles and working on big truck AC as well. And there's a lot of refrigerant in there. The cars today, maybe a pound and a half of refrigerant, maybe 2 or 1.75. They don't hold very much. It's a very small system. But when a system's been down, we need to flush it out. Because, number one, I don't want any of that crud in my expensive AC machine because it can totally destroy it. So what's that going to cost me? Yeah, $8,000, $10,000 machine today. The one that I work with was a lot of money when I bought it. And today it's like double the price and add some. So I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my machine, my equipment, because then who's paying for that? So we got to be very careful how we approach that one and do a lot of inspecting and checking to see if we can verify where the refrigerant leaked out, and then try and do a very gentle partial charge with some dye in it, a dye pack, so we can find the leak as quick as possible and not let the pressures get up too high, and then find and source the leak, suck the system back out quickly so that we can get the pressures off, and then we can draft out a course of action. But definitely you're getting a new accumulator. Definitely. Especially depends on how old the vehicle is. It's not worth the risk, because if that bag splits and the ceramic pellets explode, which they will, the system's done. And it's too much work. The labor would just kill you. It would eat you alive. So again, we'll be talking about air conditioning a lot more coming up in the next few weeks as we get closer to ambient air temperatures rising above 50 degrees and stabilizing. So some fantastic questions today. Well done, you guys. Maybe for the month of April, we'll take all the questions in, put everybody's name in a hat, and at the end of the month, pull a name and send a gift card out. What do you think of that? Let me know. Put something in the comment box on one of the YouTube videos, or better yet, go to our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com, and send me an email. Your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Would you be up for that? Throw the questions at me. Get your name in the drum. The more questions you ask means the more entries you get. Increases the chance of winning. Is that something you're interested in? We send out a gift card, make a big to-do about it, and get the questions flying, because those are 3 fantastic questions. Thanks to Jim and Elisha and Steve for taking the time to send some really good questions in that probably could be on the minds of those listening today. So till next time, happy, healthy motoring. check out our car connection fleet maintenance system. I haven't looked to see if the page is up yet, but if it isn't yet, I spoke to our webmaster. He said he was putting that page together, waiting on me to send a picture of what that maintenance system looks like so that you can see that you're getting value for your money. And it would be just like, once you have one, it'd be just like having me in your home as your coach, helping you take care of your automobile, but yet I'm not there. How cool is that? You're running the same pattern I have for many years, and you're putting lots of money back in the bank. Yep, that makes you a winner, baby. You're not playing the card game anymore. You're working with Motormouth. Motormouth, Niall Jenkins. So thanks for joining us today. Have a great rest of your weekend. Appreciate you all doing all those little things for us. Like, subscribe, share, follow, join our community, put comments in the videos, and most of all, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified when the new videos come out. And we thank you for doing that from Skippy and I, deeply from our hearts. We appreciate your help, your love, your support, and for watching and listening and coming along with us for the ride. So happy, healthy motoring. Keep it under 100. Put that coffee on. I'm going to come to your house. Peace, patience, and kindness always. We'll see you Monday morning at 8 a.m. Bye for now.